It's time to go a little micro this week.
Hello everyone, Matt here, and it's been a while since my last video. I've had a lot of issues to take care of lately, but I'm back and more is to come. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched and enjoyed my TGS videos from a few weeks past. I hope you will continue to enjoy what's to come. And today I wanted to do a new segment in my Gaming in Japan series. I wanted to go back and talk about the Game Gear Micro. It recently released here in Japan, and now that gamers have had a chance to get a hold of one and play around with the system, we've gotten a bunch of impressions and reviews of this unique little micro system. Unfortunately, I've been unable to get one as of late due to my job situation around this time with the virus and all. But I've noticed people talking about this system a lot, and I wanted to put in my 2 cents on the whole topic once again. Now, the reviews both in Japan and the West have been what you would expect them to be. Lots of praise and ridicule of the microsystem size, particularly its screen. I've noticed this on Amazon, on Rakuten, as well as on YouTube for both the Japanese gamer side and the YouTubers on the Western side as well. Many people view this device as a very cute device, while others view it as just something that's hard to see and is tiring on the eyes. This is a view even Japanese gamers have had. There's been comments on the collectability of the console. Many people view it as something that is really awesome to have each little system with each color that was released of the Game Gear. But others have complained about the fact that Sega has limited each system to only 4 games per system. And overall, you see many reviewers, especially in the West, giving a very negative opinion of it. Of course, the feeling in the West from day one has been mostly negative on the device. A lot of people were complaining about the fact that why would Sega release a device like this? Why would they release a device with only 4 games per system? Why would they release such a small thing? Why is it Japan only? Why would they do this? And those negative complaints have mostly, not always, but mostly gone on towards the reviews of the system. We've seen some new reviews, though, that have not done that. So it's been interesting to see up and down how things are going. The Japanese side, mostly positive, but you still have, of course, the negative reviews as well. Now, I want to focus on one aspect many Western reviewers probably skip over. Now, of course, their opinions are very valid and worth listening to. We should always listen to reviews, and Western reviews can be and are very important to understanding why you should purchase a system, why something is good or bad, and especially for something like this that is an import system for people who live outside Japan, it's good to get that impression of what that system is about and whether it's worth picking up. But when we're talking about a Japan exclusive item that is made specifically for the Japanese market, it's important to understand and consider those aspects in talking about the system. Let's tackle why such a system was released in the first place. Of course, Sega is doing what pretty much every company is doing these days, trying to cash in on the nostalgic boom. We've seen it with the releases of Nintendo's mini consoles, the Famicom Mini, Super Famicom Mini, the NES, SNES Minis in the rest of the world, the Neo Geo Mini, the PC Engine Mini, even the Genesis Mini from Sega themselves. Obviously, doing a Game Gear Mini would be a natural next step in the Mini progression, but the system had a lot of flaws back in its day. It was way too big. Its games weren't viewed as well as those on the Game Boy, and it just simply doesn't have the same feeling among many gamers as the Game Boy does. The Game Boy was this nostalgic, fantastic machine that everyone loved, no matter of the fact it didn't have color. The Game Gear was a cool system, but it was a battery draining hog, which was not very popular, it was hard to carry around, and its games, as we said before, weren't always viewed with the best of intentions. And because of that, it has its fans, and it also has its distractors. But because it has its fans, you definitely want to appeal to them and to others for the first time that may be picking up this system. So how do you do that? How do you appeal to the fans that love it, but also get new people into it? Well, Sega decided to do what it used to do back in the 90s, and that is go crazy and come back with the Sega that we all know and love. And it decided to do this by turning a macro-sized console into literally a micro-sized console. Now, one thing to remember about Japan is its love for small, cute items. It's kind of become a bit of a stereotype at times, and many times it's completely false, as large items such as big TVs and even consoles like the soon to be released and very large PlayStation 5 are popular. People do buy large items in Japan. It's not like they don't buy large items at all. But it is important to understand also that, and as someone who lives in Japan and actually lives in a house, thankfully, unfortunately, most places are very small. Even my house, even though I'm living in a nice area that's outside of a major city, it's still pretty small compared to Western standards. And thus, we have to consider the size for what we purchase. So, for instance, even though I have a big TV, I got to make sure that it's, small in terms of its thickness, that it fits on my wall. I have to think about the smallness of a lot of other items because just getting everything in my house is very, very important. Having a lot of large items doesn't make that realistic. But there's also another factor involved, and that is the cuteness factor. Cute things sell well and get your product noticed here. For example, slap Hello Kitty on any item and it's bound to have a boost in sales here. Same with Disney. For example, there's a big company here called Sky Perfect, yes, Skypa as we call it, Skypa, and they are a satellite company like DirecTV, and they sell, of course, a satellite dish that you can buy to get the signals. They also sell one that's the shape of Mickey Mouse, and of course, the Mickey Mouse one does pretty well because hey, people are like, oh, I want the Mickey Mouse one because it's cute looking. Cute items are very popular. And if you go to any store, any convenience store or department store or toy store, you're going to find lots of little trinkets and little cute items that people are going to want to buy and are going to want to have, especially small little things. Go to any place and you'll find rows and rows of gachapon machines. Those are, of course, those machines you put in like a coin in, you turn around, you get like a bubble with a toy inside. It's very small, and it's really cute and very neat. Those are extremely popular in Japan. They have stores that are just devoted to having nothing but those machines. So they're very, very popular. Cute and small sell and can be very practical for many gamers too. What's also important is being unique and different. Japanese customers like unique and new items. For example, go into any convenience store and you will constantly see new food for sale every week and lots of limited items. They don't like to keep the same items on the shelves all the time. So for instance, if you're going to be buying a bread, maybe this week they'll have a certain type of chocolate bread. Well, next week that bread will be gone and will be replaced by a melon bread type of bread, or might be replaced by some sort of Danish. Drinks, for instance, many of the major drink companies will come out with different type of flavors of drinks that only are available for a couple of weeks. And not only that, go to places like McDonald's and they are always having new menu items, new sandwiches, new hamburgers that are only on sale for like 1 week or 2 weeks because people want something new here. They want something unique. They want something that you can only have for a short time, and they love that. They love that newness there. Same goes for pretty much anything. Being unique gets you noticed here in Japan. Uniqueness is very important. The Game Gear Micro fits all those aspects. It's a very small device, so it's easy to carry around. It's easy to carry around on a train or in your bag or anywhere you go. And especially for a country where a lot of people do transit, and maybe it might be too hard to pull out that phone, but you have that little Game Gear Micro. It might be fun to play around with there. It's something to play in small bursts, so it's easy to do that. It's extremely cute, so when people notice it, people see it, they're going to be like, what is that? That looks really cool. Oh, I remember that little thing. That was a Game Gear from like 30 years ago, wasn't it? It's definitely unique in the world of mini systems. It's not like anything we've ever seen before, at least not in terms of the mini systems of these days. We've seen this in older things like the Tamagotchis and the VMU units for the Dreamcast and the Pocket Stations, which also were very popular back in the late 90s. So seeing it come back with the Game Gear Micro is kind of cool. And it's not hard to see why Sega would want to try to make something so crazy as they have, because that makes things unique and different. So it's cute, it's unique, and it's different. Those are things that are going to get you noticed in the Japanese marketplace. Now, it's not just something they've done with the Game Gear Micro. Let's look at, for instance, the release of the Sega Genesis Mini and its Tower of Power additional aesthetic set, which I have right here. It's just a bunch of plastic model add-ons, as you can see, that, of course, give it that old Tower of Power look. The Sega CD there, you caught that there, the 32X, not 3DX, Sonic and Knuckles and everything there. It's completely useless. It's unnecessary, and some would argue it's a waste of money. But for Sega fans, it was a unique craziness that reminds them of the good old days when Sega was competing with the rest of the gaming world for gaming supremacy. It was that wonderfulness, a wonderful part of nostalgia that made Sega do that. And it was something that was also popular in the West. People were importing that Tower of Power system extra add-on from Japan to the West. So craziness works really well for Sega, and people gave that high praise. Now, this product in many ways isn't meant to be what gamers in the West, and also many in Japan as well, probably want it to be. An item that preserves the games in a perfect way to play them. A gaming preservationist device. Instead, it's a product that takes the usual aspects of Japanese culture and molds around it to make a cute and unique product that collectors and those nostalgic to the Game Gear will get a kick out of, even if it's not a perfect Game Gear Mini that everyone wants. It's not a museum piece or a console to spend hours upon hours sitting down to play. It's a trinket, a toy to be enjoyed in small bursts. It's an item to look at with joy and to smile at. And it's hard not to smile at something that is as cute as this. It's insanely ironic that one of the most cumbersome pieces of gaming portable hardware, due to its gigantic size back in the day, has been given new life by shrinking it down to a cumbersome yet cute micro size. Now, Sega did make some blunders on this release, and they need to be pointed out. For instance, not having the micro magnifying device be sold separately. Having it sold only with the complete set of games is a real strange move, and one that has had gamers everywhere have to make unique ways to help them play the games. Some have even resorted to using their cell phone cameras to enlarge the Game Gear Micro screen. Also, they could have taken a chance to make everyone happy by including the games on each set of a cartridge or disc to be played on, say, the Switch or PlayStation 4. Interestingly, they are going to be doing this soon with the release of a fifth white Game Gear Micro, which will be part of a special edition of the Aleste collection of Game Gear games being released for consoles later this year. Had that been done for the other games, perhaps the complaints to the Micro would have been less. Of course, limiting each system to just 4 games each also makes the system less economically valued versus the other mini systems on the market. It would probably have been better if they put all the games on each system, but it does change the idea of what that entire marketing plan was. Sell each system as an action device, RPG device, or a Megami Tensei device, or whatnot. But still, even with these negatives, Sega taking a chance on releasing what many, particularly in the West, view as a ludicrous machine actually gives me a smile, because it does bring Sega back to its wacky 90s days, where they would do everything different to stand out. And by focusing on many aspects that Japanese customers would want, a smart move I might add, considering this device is a Japanese-only release, it makes the Game Gear Micro release special, unique, and different. But thankfully also Sega is thinking ahead into its next possible mini system. In an interview with Famitsu magazine, they talked about how they want to make another one of the classic systems and mentioned 2 possible choices, the Sega Mark I and the Dreamcast. They also made a point of saying they want the next system to be marketed for the whole world, and thus that gives the Dreamcast, one of Sega's most beloved consoles, a chance to get the amount of care and love it deserves. And I hope it does, because the Dreamcast is one of the best systems that's ever been released, and its games are so beloved that it would definitely be something that would do very well in this mini market. But as for the Game Gear Micro goes, as a Japanese toy, and I must make a point that it is a toy, it certainly is unique. And while it's crazy that Sega went down the route they did, are we really that surprised they made such a decision? Honestly, I think it's cool, and it's certainly going to be a collector's item for years to come. And while it has less appeal to those outside of Japan, I'm still glad to see Wacky Sega return, and also to see that they did something very unique for this crazy market at times. It's a unique product, and it's one that will not make everyone happy, but it makes me happy, and I'm happy about that. And I personally cannot wait to get a hold of my own version of it. But hey, I'm pretty much a wacky person myself, so I like these things. And just like so many others living in Japan around me, I love cute things, and this is as cute as you can get in the gaming world. But how do you feel about it? Feel free to leave your comments below, and please leave a like or dislike if you feel so. And thank you very much for watching this week. I hope that you enjoyed. Until next time, happy gaming and take care.
More videos to come on Japanese gaming soon. Until then, take care.